People often say recruitment is not marketing. And I absolutely agree. Recruitment is not marketing. It's probably only about 95% marketing. Okay? I said this to a venture capitalist about 3 or 4 months ago, and his response to me was, everything is 95% marketing. And this is completely true in 2019. It absolutely is. If you are not completely familiar with marketing, go and look at the 4 or 7, depending on which school you follow, different responsibilities that marketing should have. It covers pretty much how you run your business. You used to be able to just put an advert out on Facebook, spend £500 on promoting it, and yeah, some of the right people would get it. You can't do that today. You simply can't do that today. You've got to be micro-granular in your targeting. Personalization to the power of 1 is what you really need to be thinking about. So candidates consume information in erratic micro moments. We think about this as the flight of the bumblebee. Unlike almost every living creature, a bumblebee's movement is totally unpredictable. Our movements on the internet are totally unpredictable. And we've all done it. We've gone onto YouTube to look for some information, and then half an hour later, we've realized we've watched 15 different videos and we're on a completely different subject. Now, because the candidate's behavior, so humans as candidates' behavior is unpredictable. What that means is they're going to be consuming information in lots of different places. We want to be where they are. We want to be in the same places that they are. Now, we can't completely control that, but we can do quite a lot of things to control that. Keeping candidates into your sphere, areas where you can understand what it is they're doing, is a big, big opportunity. It's a challenge and it's an opportunity. So when I take Rich's funnel, decision funnel, I think about it translated into recruitment as awareness. They have heard of your organization, and they are aware that you're an employer. Education, they are trying to find out a little bit more about you, and would you be an organization that might be interesting? Consideration, that's when they're really trying to picture themselves in your business. Could they really work here? What are the people like that work there? What are the benefits of working there? Can I get to the office easily? Can I take my dog to the office? Whatever. Everyone's got different questions. And then the application phase. In the awareness phase, that's subliminal. That's subliminal messages that people are going to take in without actively researching you. In the education phase, that's the employer brand phase, and that's where they want to find out, what are you saying about yourself? In the more deep consideration phase, that's the phase where they want to go a real transparent window into your organization, not just what are you saying about yourselves, but actually, what are people saying on Glassdoor? What is the hiring manager's LinkedIn profile look like? And what do they say about themselves? And why did they join that organization? So they want to go deeper into content. Now, you can, if you've got a broad enough digital footprint, you can achieve influence with people at all of these different stages. If you can use digital tactics to really understand people and their behavior, then you're going to be able to determine which are the people that are highly engaged with me, with my business and my organization, and who are the people that are likely to want to have a conversation right now. There's lots of different interesting ways that you can do that. Cambridge Analytica, quite frankly, they were really onto something when it comes to marketing. Okay? They took it a little bit too far. Facebook enabled them to take it a little bit too far. But you can do a huge amount of really targeted, personalized communication at scale on an automated basis without humans trying to pick up the phone or trying to make contact with every single person that you don't know anything about yet, except for they've got the right job title. This is what's happened today. So if you agree with my assertion that candidates are actually not consumers, candidates behave more like B2B buyers, which means that they go through, this awareness, education, consideration, and application phase. Distinct phases, they do research. They don't just spur of the moment at the checkout decide what to buy or what to apply for. Today, the most sophisticated B2B organizations, 100% of their sales pipeline is marketing generated. In recruitment, almost everything we do, 95%, is what I would call sales generated. So it's humans going online, trying to find relevant individuals, trying to reach out to them completely cold. That is a really, really inefficient way of recruiting. So what happens with most organizations I know is the vacancy gets signed off, they advertise, they then identify people on social media and reach out to them one-to-one, which takes a hell of a long time. If you've got a team of 10 people that are doing that, 80% of people are not in the market for job opportunities. 80% of that time reaching out to strangers is entirely wasted. But the problem is, you don't know which 80% it's going to be until you go and do it, and you find the 20% who say, yeah, I'm interested in having a conversation. So you can be much, much more effective by taking a sophisticated performance marketing approach to building your candidate pipeline and understanding who is in the awareness, education, consideration phases and spending your valuable human time just talking to those people in the consideration phase. They're the only people that are ready for a conversation with you. You need to think about building relationships with people over the entire length of their career. In recruitment, another problem that we have is, another mistake I think we make is, we've got very ephemeral relationships with candidates. At the points that we're recruiting a Python engineer, that's when we go and talk to Python engineers. And then we go back and talk to them again 3 months later when we're recruiting more Python engineers. What's happened with that relationship? They're being treated as commodities and they know it. People are making contact with them to sell them something, which is a career opportunity, at the point that that employer needs something from them. But what are you giving them in the intervening period? What are you doing to nurture that relationship over the length of their career? Probably not very much. But the organizations that are performing best in talent acquisition are the ones that are really understanding that a relationship is not just about when you need them, it's about giving them something useful and relevant throughout their career. What's changed in the candidate journey? Candidates used to become aware of opportunities on their own and then find very, very little that they could actually find out very little about your organization, so they had to talk to a recruiter very early in the process. Today, however, they can find out what does the coffee taste like in your organization and what's your inside leg measurement. They don't need to talk to recruiters until they've self-directed to this stage. So it's another reason why we need marketing to be doing the heavy lifting through the pipeline, taking these people from cold into warm and into hire ready, and this is the point that humans should be having one-to-one conversations with them from, in my view. Just as an example of this, if you can see that in the last week, John opened an email, then did nothing else, but Jane opened an email, clicked a link, looked at a landing page, looked at your company on Glassdoor, looked at your YouTube video, looked at the hiring manager's LinkedIn, and looked at a job description. If you've got 500 Python engineers on your database, it's probably going to be about 15 of them that have done this kind of level of activity that's Jane's done. When your recruiters know who the Janes are, they're going to get to a target list and a short list much, much faster. You can do this using marketing technologies. I believe that the optimum talent acquisition function today is split into two teams. Those that are looking after the regular hiring, which is talent pipelines, they're the farmers. They're the people that are doing nurturing, and they're trying to convert as many people from being strangers into enthusiastic people queuing outside your office for an interview. So that's the kind of roles where in a lot of organizations it might be salespeople, software engineers, depending on your industry, it could be bankers, it could be scientists, whatever your industry is. And then of course for the irregular hires, hunting is the right thing to do. This is sourcing. So thinking about splitting up your team, hunters and farmers, for the regular hire areas and the irregular hire areas is something that is a really important thing to consider. The next thing is, who is your total addressable market? Okay, so we, in recruitment, again, let's say a vacancy comes up for a clinical project manager. I'll know as a recruiter, typically, I need to go and find 50 to get 15 conversations, to get 5 on the shortlist coming into the interview. That's fine if you want to keep firefighting. If you want to keep reactive recruiting and working on vacancies afresh all the time. If you're hiring clinical project managers more regularly, what you really need to do is understand who is every clinical project manager in the region that I would recruit from. That is my addressable market, and that's the people who I need to be nurturing. Talent pipelines only exist when you understand which people are cold, which people are warm, and which people are hire ready. A talent pipeline is not the people you've got on your CRM. A talent pipeline is not the people you've got on a spreadsheet. That's just a list. If you don't understand who's cold, who's warm, and who's hire ready, you don't have a talent pipeline. A talent pipeline is not a talent pool, that's a list. A talent pool is a list. Talent pipelining is a very, very powerful concept that helps you get to shortlist on average about 50% faster. Talent communities are not lists of people on a spreadsheet or on your ATS or on your CRM. A talent community only exists when people can interact with each other. The best kind of talent community, I saw one big defense company, I won't name them, but one big defense company about 2 years ago on LinkedIn, calling the world's best lawyers, come and join our legal talent community. I mean, the world's best lawyers, they want you to roll the red carpet out to them. They're not going to respond to your advert saying, come and join our talent community. What's in it for them? What are you going to give them? That's just join our database, is what that sounded like. Specsavers have done this absolutely. This is world class, one of the best examples I've ever seen, and not many businesses are emulating this. They've got an initiative called Green Club. It used to be called Specsavers Green Club. They dropped Specsavers because they realized that was the wrong thing. It's just called Green Club. It's all about skills for optometrists. It's online community where people can engage with each other. It is offline events. This is not this does not come across to anybody as a recruitment initiative. It is purely about learning. Talent communities today need to be about learning, about giving people something. And if you're brave enough to drop your name from the name of your talent community, you've got rapport with those candidates and you're doing the right thing. You're giving something without asking for anything in return. Now, of course, what Specsavers is doing is it's tracking the people that are interacting with them at their events and on the online talent community, those people that actually are then going onto the career site and taking a look at opportunities. They, of course, do know this information, and it means that their recruiters can go spearfishing. Pushing your senior people out as figureheads and talent magnets is something that is a very vital tactic, a powerful tactic. But not just hiring managers, the people that are doing the job as well. Talent brand is important at the awareness, education, and consideration phases. Here's an example, a very, very simple example. Sally Abbott's the Managing Director for the UK and Ireland at Weetabix. On her LinkedIn profile, she says, here's a little bit about me, but it goes on to, I joined Weetabix to do this, why I love working for Weetabix. 4 specific bullet points that explain exactly why she joined that organization. If I'm a brand manager and I'm interested in Weetabix, or somebody's, they've come to my attention, I'm possibly going to come and look at this person, and that's going to give me, why did this person come and join that? It's really authentic. It's an authentic message about that organization. People sometimes complain about examples of employer branding from organizations being, well, SAP's got millions to spend on it, so how could I emulate that? It costs you about, I don't know, £10 of your salary to go and sit with Sally Abbott and your Sally Abbotts and make their LinkedIn profiles say why they joined that organization and what their attitude to inspiring their team is and what they think their core challenges are. It costs about £10 worth of your salary when you're going and taking a brief from a hiring manager to take your phone with you and ask them 3 questions, 30-second answers each. Why did you join the organization? How do you inspire your team? What are the main things your team is doing to power our business or to challenge our industry or move our industry forward? I do not believe the future of employer branding is what we all talk about, which is your employee value proposition and things like that. I absolutely think that people are too wise to marketing and marketing messages and branding messages. I think the future of employer brand absolutely needs to be about skills, learning, being useful and relevant to people that you might want to hire in the future. Specsavers Green Club is a really good example. If you can be useful and relevant to people way ahead of them considering working for your organization, you're generating goodwill, you're building a relationship, you're building trust and empathy. Sourcing, I believe sourcing and employer branding and recruitment marketing should all be one unit. It should be a talent attraction unit, split up, regular evergreen hiring and then irregular hiring. The future of sourcing for me is not about finding people because it's really not that hard to find people anymore. There's tools that aggregate what human skills used to do, and they can help you to really find people that it would have been previously you would have needed to have been a Boolean ninja to do it. The future for sourcing, as far as I'm concerned, it's about data analysis and it's about nurture marketing. So I think that today's sourcing teams have got a brilliant opportunity to convert themselves into data analysis and nurture marketing teams because they've got the right skill sets, they've got curious mindsets, they're people who love to put bit of information A together with bit of information Z and come up with the answer that they're looking for. They trial new ways of doing things and they're constantly focused on what's going to get me to the answer I need faster. To do what I call nurture marketing, you need to think about content that's for people that are at different stages. As I say, I kind of simplify it with cold, warm, hire, ready. These people who are in the cold area, which according to LinkedIn would be 80% of people who are not looking for new job opportunities, they do not care about your job descriptions. They don't care about your EVP. But what I know from data they do care about is industry insights, talent development, career advice, things that are going to help them with their careers. This kind of ties in with what I'm talking about in terms of employer branding, should be about being useful and relevant today. Those people that are coming into warm, they're people who are going to want to know more about your organization. This is not just about what you put on your career site. This is about what's on your investor relations page. This is about your CEO's interview with Bloomberg. It's about your company's mission, vision, and values, your company's corporate social responsibility. When they come into the hire ready phase, yeah, this is maybe a bit more of the hard sell. So this is a bit more of the, really, you need to be coming and working with this, our organization, because we're going to accelerate your career by getting you working on this and this. Things like, this is where the hiring managers can really make the difference between somebody applying or not applying. I believe that you need to work out a scoring model for what people are interacting with. So this is one that this is a kind of logical-based scoring model that I think is, I'm conscious there's a bit of a functionality gap between what I'm explaining here and what you might feel you're able to do today. But if somebody's opening, just think about it though. If somebody's opening an email from you, does that mean they're ready for a conversation about job opportunities? No, I would score that low. If somebody's coming and looking at your hiring manager's video, does that mean they're going to be ready for a job opportunity with you? Not necessarily, but they're much more likely to be interested than if they're just opening an email. There's all sorts of ways you can track people's activities and you know who's doing these specific things. If somebody's looking at industry news or skills and that's the only thing they seem to be interested in, should your recruiter pick up the phone to them? Probably not. It's not a great use of their time. They're not doing anything meaningful enough to suggest they're ready for a conversation. If somebody's looking at your career-focused event or job search or job description, is that an indicator for your recruiter to go and pick up the phone to that person? Yes. Much, much more likely to be ready for a conversation.